You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram live from Atlanta. As you all know, we bring to the show with different leaders in the community to bring awareness. Today, we are going to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Narender Reddy, who is one of my good friend and well-wisher from Atlanta. And he is running for the Georgia State House of Representatives. First of all, thank you so much and congratulations for running onto the Georgia State of House of Representatives from Republican Party. Let me introduce Mr. Narender Reddy. He has earned his MBA from the University of Evansville, Indiana. He is 35-year resident of Georgia and has been appointed by both Governor Sonny Perdue and Governor Nathan Deal to serve as a board member of Georgia Regional Transport Authority. He is the owner and president of Sterling Realty Services and into the commercial real estate firm, and was founding director of Quantum National Bank, where he used his experience in real estate. Narender Reddy's political activism has been running more than 3 decades as a chairman, Indian American Forum for Political Education, since Georgia chapter since 1995. He has been working tirelessly to get Indian Americans participate in the mainstream political arena by getting involved in the election campaigns and casting their votes. In the Republican Party, Narender has been recognized as the important leader at the state and national level. He has been invited to speak at Georgia Republican Party State Convention on several occasions, where he stressed upon the party leadership to take initiative to have ethnic group like Indian Americans join the Republican Party. Narender's friendship with congressmen and senators was very useful in successful lobbying for the passage of US Indian Civil Nuclear Bill in the Congress. Due to his relentless effort, congressmen who were used to adopting anti-India stance in Congress have been turned into great friendship of India and in the Indian American community. Owing to his help in election campaigns and friendship, President George Bush invited Narender to the state dinner hosted in honor of Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, at the White House. In addition to this political activism, he has also been part of the many Indian American associations like TAMA, ICA, ATA, Hindu Temple of Atlanta, and several others organizations in various capacity. Not only as a great community leader, he is there for the community for any sort of help. Thank you so much, Narender Garu, for your efforts and being 3 decades in Republican Party. So before getting into the deep of this, you are running for this Georgia State of House of Representatives. Why don't you let us know more about the political system and about the geographical of Georgia, so that the viewers understand the political arena and where you are contesting for.
I'm contesting from District 50. This is a city called Johns Creek, a northern suburb of Atlanta. And where diversity is there, we have a lot of ethnic groups like Indians, Chinese, Koreans, about 50% of them. And the other 50% is mostly white people, white community. So, but this district is a very swing voter. Swing voters means about 40% of these voters are independent. They don't have a party affiliations. Right now, they look at it only the candidate and their agenda. If they like the agenda, they cross the party lines and they vote. So this district is winnable seat, even though currently it is a Democrats is occupying this chair for this district. Republicans can win this seat. That is the reason I did my analysis and my consultant did the analysis, and we thought we can win this seat. So that is the reason I got into this contest. But I have a first primary in the sense, I'm contesting with 2 other Republicans to get the nomination of the Republican Party. That will be the election on May 24th of this year. After that, if I win, of course I'm going to win, there is no doubt about it. Then I'm going to go to the November election with a Democrat who is currently elected and serving the legislature. But I want to defeat her. And I think it is a very good possibility I'm going to defeat her, because I have a lot of support from various communities, including Republican Party leadership. So this election is going to be very important for our community, particularly, so that I can prove to the particular Indian Americans and other ethnics that even if our skin color is different, if you have a good agenda, if you are actually involved in the party, you still can win these elections. So when I get elected, this will be an inspiration moment for most of the second generation people, particularly. So that's my goal. More than for me, the win has to be for our community and for other people who gets inspired later on to run for other offices.
Absolutely, Mr. Reddy. We are in support of yours, and we know that you are in almost 3 decades you have served Republican Party. So what made you wait so long to contest?
In the elections, particularly what happens is the perfect time has to come. I never wanted to run for an office if there is no chance of winning, because at least there should be a reasonable chance of winning the election. Then only we should run. Otherwise, we'll be spending our money, community money, everyone's money for nothing. About 12 years back, I had that opportunity. I was already decided to run for the state Senate. But unfortunately, that time the incumbent, who was a Republican, supposed to be retiring, in the last minute he changed his mind and he wanted to continue. And I never wanted to run against another Republican in the election, in the primary, particularly in incumbent. The incumbent is very important, and he's been serving that particular seat for more than 10 years. So I dropped out. After that, I never got the chance. And also, this time I decided only because this is an open seat, in the sense the current legislator of Democratic Party is not running. So there is a new Democratic Party candidate is coming into the picture. So it's an open seat in every way. So that is the reason I wanted to run this time and win.
Excellent. So you have told that in the May, you will be running against another Republican Party member. So will this voting be across the state or the district which you are participating, and whoever wins, they will go further in the real election? Is that what my understanding correct?
This is only for the district. There are 2 other candidates, including me. Then, including me, it will be 3 candidates. Out of that, they will elect only one to represent the Republican Party in November. So this district is basically Johns Creek City and a little part of Alpharetta.
Absolutely. If we are considering District 50, tell us how many districts are there in Georgia, and what is the population of District 50, and how many votes, at least from the prior experience, what is the percentage of voting, and how much at least you need to accomplish to win?
Let me clarify this. What is this House of Representatives is, just like in AP or Telangana, they have the assembly. So this is an equivalent position. The representative means is like a MLA in under Indian Constitution. Mm-hmm. So the district has about 50,000 voters in this district. And but unfortunately in America also the voting percentage is very poor. About 60% of the people will vote. That could be around 30,000. And out of 30,000, we have to win. Or if you are lucky this year, because we have a governor election, same time as in November as this election. So there may be more people coming this time to participate in the November election. It could go to 70%. So total voting is, total voters list is about 50,000. Out of that, 70% people will vote. So the position, as I said before, it is the same equivalent to MLA. Here in Georgia Assembly, we have 180 representatives. And now I will be one of those 180 representatives.
Excellent. That gives more insight to the viewers exactly where you are contesting for. So out of this 30,000, what do you think the Indian American voters would be there? And how are we going to tap these voters?
Indian American voters could be, if they participate in this election process, but most of the Indian Americans really, it is very sad to see, they don't participate in the election process. Only about 20% of the people will vote, 20-25%. But if they come more, for example, in this district, they can make an impact on the result of the election. By showing up, more people showing up, they can twist the results to a candidate that they prefer. So for me, any Indian American vote will be like a bonus. In addition to the mainstream voters, if I can get about a couple of thousand votes from the Indian Americans, that will be a bonus, and I can win the primary outright.
Absolutely. I think it's a very sad thing. I think all the viewers should note now, we have a choice. We have a strong determination that we have to vote and win our Mr. Reddy, so that, your support is very important. I would like to request each and every voter to please participate in the vote and make a difference in the community. Before I go to your agenda, Mr. Reddy, I just wanted to ask, what are your observations in the current political system? And how do you think you can make a difference, especially in the minorities?
See, for everything, if you want to negotiate or if you want to stop a legislation being passed which can hurt our community, you need to have a seat at the table. You cannot negotiate with the party leadership or government or governor by staying outside. You have to be in the system. To get into the system, you have to get into the elected positions. If you are an elected officer, elected member of the assembly, then you can sit with them and say, okay, this is a particular proposal that you're passing is not going to help us. Actually, it is going to help our community. For example, if they pass a law on education, who is going to get affected? Indian children, everybody's children. But at the same time, Indian children have a different kind of outlook in the education and future because of their parents' involvement in day-to-day education. I'm not saying that Americans don't get involved, but Indians have a different attitude towards the children and their future. Because as an Indian American, I want my children to be successful. There is no negotiation on that. But if the government says that, okay, in this school particularly, there are about 25% of the students are Indian Americans only, we need to cut down that percentage. That is going to hurt all of us. So that time you need a representative who can sit with the governor or government and say, no, this is discrimination. We cannot tolerate. You have to give us the equal opportunity. For everything we know, for example, businesses also. If you are doing a business, like I say, most of our Indian Americans are in the hotel business. If the government passes a regulation saying that for hotel industry, instead of 10% tax, we are going to increase it to 15%. Who is going to get affected? Indian Americans. And then once they say 15%, if they pass the law, you cannot do anything. But you have a representative from your community, then you can go and sit there with them and say, okay, this is not right because it's going to hurt our business. Not only that, we're going to lose our business. So you need to stop this legislation. It will work. But if you are talking about staying outside and standing on the sidelines and shouting about this is discrimination and all that, it's not going to change anything.
Absolutely. You are very true. And I could see probably in these last 2 years, there is a little momentum in the Indian community. What is your observation?
It is coming, but still we are very backward compared to, let me put it this way, okay? In the country, our Indian population is about 1.25%, where the Jewish community is only 2.5%. So they're only double the size of our Indian community. But look at the political power the Jewish community has in the country. They have about 27, 28 congressmen in the US Congress.
Wow.
How many we have? 4. That too, only a few years back it happened. Before that, we never had any representation in the House or Congress. How many Jewish justices are there in the Supreme Court? Always 3 or 4. Till today, Indian community never had even one judge in the Supreme Court. It's not that Indians are not qualified. They are qualified, but they don't have the political influence to get nominated to the Supreme Court because US Supreme Court judges are nominated by the president. Slowly we are coming, but still we are nowhere. And we have a long way to catch compared to the Jewish community. And also, whenever something happens to Israel, if there is a legislation going against Israel, this Jewish population can prevent that happening in the US Congress. But for Indians, it is very tough to stop anything if the legislation is passing in the US Congress, which can be detrimental to Indian population or India, to the country of India. As a NRIs, we cannot do much other than just to represent our concerns to the congressmen and all that. But we really need more participation from the Indian community to get their community interest in this country. Also, if they want to protect rights for the India or advantages or provide advantages to India.
Absolutely. I think it's high time for all of us to step up and be part of the political system. I think, Mr. Reddy, I would also ask you, you are 30 years of years in the political system, being in the Republican Party. I would like to ask you two questions. The main parties in the US system are Democratic and Republican, right? My first question is, why did you choose Republican Party? The second question I wanted to ask is, why do you see the Indian community not coming into the political system? What is your observation? Are they busy in their own work, or they are not interested in this? What is your observation?
First, I will tell you why I'm a Republican. I came to this country in 1982. That time it was President Reagan was in the first term as a president at the time. I used to listen to his speeches. His speeches are mostly focused on preaching to the people about having faith, having good education, to work hard in the business, and to be self-sufficient with their own businesses than depending on the government. And also he used to say, since you're working hard and making money, so you have to save most of your money to yourself and pay less taxes to the government. And I used to wonder all those days when I was listening, these are the same values our Indian parents bring us, always brought us up. One thing is, they always told us education is the best tool for success. And also they told us, have faith in the God. And that we always participated in the family rituals in India when we were growing up, all religious festivals. And also family values. In India, the best family values are everybody cares for everybody in the family. And these are the values that Republican Party was preaching. So I used to wonder why Indian Americans mostly vote for the Democrats. So that is the time I decided, once I'm done with my graduation and go into the strongly stable in the finances, I will go into the Republican Party actively involved. So when Senior Bush was running for the re-election, I got involved in his campaign. After that, I never quit. I've been supporting the senators, governors, congressmen, and like George Bush Jr. also. All the time I was involved. And I was also trying to bring more community members into the system. The other question is, what was the other question? Sorry.
What is your observation why Indians are not participating in the political system or not voting?
I don't want to say negatively, but when we were growing up, particularly my generation in India, politics in India was no parent would say, let me put it this way, no parent would say, I'm going to bring up my child to be an MLA, MP someday. Nobody would. They would say, I would bring up my child to be a doctor, engineer, or I will send him to abroad. This kind of dreams they had. But nobody had a dream for their child to be a politician. Because somehow in those days, I don't know now because I kind of lost connection. Those days, politics means not a good thing. So we came with the same baggage to this country, and we think American politics also same. So that's why even now it is very difficult for a parent to accept that his child is going to go into politics as a career. They try to discourage them. Very, very few families are realizing now. They are also, but they are encouraging their children to take an active role in politics. But as I said before, there is a long way before we can reach the destination.
You are absolutely right. I think the mindset has to change from the Indian community as well. Yeah. Of course, at least our younger generation should be changed from that perspective. And thanks for clarifying why did you join Republican. So my understanding was I could see more opportunities for the Indian Americans in participating in the more opportunities like having a judge, being in the medical boards, and also in the transportation boards, police boards. So I could see more in the Republican era during the Trump era, right? During the Trump period, I could see a lot of. So I was just thinking maybe because we have a lot of opportunities, all are diverting to the Republican Party. But thanks for clarifying that.